Hello everyone. I'd like to do a bit of a different video today, um, and just talk about the purpose of these videos. Why am I doing this? This is going to be the mission statements of this channel. Before that though, I would like to talk about purpose. I think, there's a lot of talk about the purpose of men, how to find purpose in your life. And, there are a lot of opinions on something like this, but I'd like to present my opinion on what purpose is. So for me, purpose, if you break it down, I think it is a skill, so a specialized skill set. And added to that, we have, I'm not really sure how to say this, let's just put a wound or a healed wound. Or maybe a scar. Yep. Or let's perhaps say a way out of adversity. And I think that these two together, a real understanding of these two more or less comes up, defines a purpose in a man. In specialized skill, I think that this is just, life experience and personality traits. Speaking about myself, my personality trait, my skills mainly come from my personality. So I'm an INTP, and if for anyone who doesn't know what an INTP is, what an MBTI is, it means that I think a lot and I have external intuition. In other words, I look at the world around me and I pick out patterns that I see. So when it comes to people, I like to really analyze people and see what they do, see what they say, and then I'll just, boil over it, and I just think what I observed and form new ideas. And I read interesting books, and I think about it even more. My my life, I did well at school and I got into the whole maths chemistry things and those kind of subjects in school, and then I started analyzing people as I grew up. I started using external intuition and just seeing what they did and how that reflected in myself. And eventually I got into men's work and all that jazz. But basically, presenting ideas and making complex ideas simpler and more digestible for people is what I do best. My real breakthrough was when I went and had a deep look at my wounds. I got involved in a community called the Mankind Project, MKP, the Australian branch, and I did what was called the New Warrior training adventure, which is a modernized version of initiation for modern men. And I had pretty deep wounds inside of me that I wasn't aware of. That's the whole point of the MWTA. And what I found was that there was a lot that I was admitting, and I made some serious changes to my life after I went through this weekend. I mean, I can safely say that this was the most influential thing I've ever done in my life. And when I got out, I spent about 3-4 years just going inside and working on myself. And my natural skill set, I just read a lot and found out a lot, and I went inside and thought a lot and felt a lot inside. And I really dug into some of these wounds here. My main wound, I would say, was that I had trouble connecting with people or connecting with myself, especially. Emotions didn't flow throughly naturally for myself, and it took me a long time to break through on that aspect. But I did a lot of work, and inevitably, I had some pretty major insights, some pretty major, um breakthroughs in my own life, which leads to the purpose of this channel. So why am I doing this channel? The purpose of this channel is to give men a skill set, or no, not skill set, a reference where they can come and ask questions about anything. After I was going to become a psychotherapist, a facilitator where people could come and work on their issues. There were a few things out of my control that prevented that, and I won't get into that right now. Um, but I felt very strongly that I wanted to reach men, and I wanted to give back what I had learned for about 3 or 4 years. And then I came across Khan Academy. Let me just change color. So Khan Academy, the guy talked on TED not too long ago. And so the Khan Academy is very similar to what I'm doing. In fact, I just blatantly copied it. The idea of just using a black background and using it as a means of education, as a kind of a space where you can just come listen. So I just watched some of his videos, and he talks about how the black space and just hearing a voice and no face, uh, it almost had the effect of getting into people's minds. So I love that idea, and I thought it was just brilliant. So I ran out to Officeworks and picked up a bamboo, a stylus pad, and a Logitech microphone, and just got set up and making really rough and insightful videos. The purpose of these videos is to give men a toolbox where they can ask questions or just look up anything where it might be difficult for them to find answers for. So I want to cover simple issues such as bullying and building self-esteem and good self-image, relatively simple issues. And in later videos in the future, I'll be going over complicated things like relating to women, understanding sexuality, and finding a purpose in life. I really feel deeply about this because if I execute this correctly, and I'm still figuring out how to do that, if I execute this correctly, I think I can change the lives of a lot of men. Of a lot of men. The real centerpiece of what I'm trying to do is if you imagine everything crazy that goes around you, what I'm hoping to do is to give every man a kind of a center where he can go in, um, where he can go inside, and it's almost like a sanctuary. It's a safe place where he can go within and have a deep look at himself. If you look at my videos, I will often ask you to ask yourself difficult questions, and many of those questions, I think many of us as men do not confront these because it is painful, or because we're afraid, or there's a stigma of us asking some of the questions that I'm going to put up. I think YouTube is a fantastic place to do this because a man can work on these issues in his own privacy, and when he's ready, he can bring them out into the world. I think internal work is one of the most powerful things that you can do. because all your thoughts, your actions come from that space. This this central space. I think it becomes clear with meditation and with inner work. They both go hand in hand. You know, there's not a lot. There's a lot of meditation. There's a lot of spiritual practice, but really going deep inside, I doubt there's a lot of information that's freely accessible on the internet. Okay, thanks for listening, guys. Bye bye.